Michelle, welcome to this episode in our series on wellness. It is already 1 o'clock, so I think we should start. Our speaker today is Susan Fouchier. She is going to share information with us on how to improve your well-being by strengthening your family. She is a registered social worker, and she has a lot of interesting things that she can share with us. So without postponing any further, she will start with her presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to share exciting and fun stuff with other people. So my presentation today is not very long, and I decided to make it a little bit more practical and make it fun for everyone to join. And I called it part 1 because I thought maybe somewhere next year I can do another talk, and then we can follow up from where we started off for today. So I just want to share my screen. Can you guys just give me an indication if you can see my screen?
Hi, Susan. Yes, we can see your screen, and it's in present mode.
Thank you very much. So, strengthening your family, part 1. So, yes, I thought this could be a long series of many exciting and fun stuff that I can share with especially with families, because our well-being is so dependent on what is happening in our family life. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to go to the next slide. For some reason, my slides do not want to go on. And now everything is freezing. Sorry about that. Let me just stop the share, and then I'm going to share it again. Let's see.
We can see your screen. You just have to put it in presenter mode.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Estelle. So today I have a very short discussion, which I think will be fun to implement at home. And seeing that the holidays are lingering a little bit in the on the horizon, it would be wonderful if we can just have 1 or 2 things that we can implement in our families during this holidays. And I'm also a strong believer that for moms, especially moms who are working, it's extremely important that your extra chores and the extra things that you want to do to improve your well-being, or anything that you line up, should link to your current schedule and link to your current routine, because there's no time for extra tasks and extra chores to be done. So yeah, to just link it to that and to make it easy to implement. So we will be looking at positive self-talk, we will be looking at family dinners, and we will be looking at my time. Now, my time is another phrase that when I speak about my time, I would rather call it snuggle time. So yes, we will get to that a little bit later. So why do we need to strengthen our families? Why do we need to spend time with our loved ones? I have, well, I constantly do research because I do many presentations, especially about families and behaviors in children and parenting skills. And one of the research articles that I came across is a report from the USA. Now, this was done in 2003, but and it sounds like it's very long ago, but I think this is part of the problem that we are sitting now with today in South Africa. So this research was done by 33 professional researchers and medical doctors in different fields. And they wanted to ask the question, why do the children have so many behavioral problems? And the other thing was the mental health problems. So they say the crisis comes in two parts. The first part is the deteriorating mental and behavioral health of US children. We are witnessing high and rising rates of depression, anxiety, attention deficit, conduct disorders, thoughts of suicide, and other serious mental, emotional, and behavioral problems among US children and adolescents. And this was in 2003. So you can imagine, well, if I look at my work and with the families that I work with daily, I see this every day. And then they wanted to answer the question, why is this happening? And they said it's due to a lack of connectedness. This is what they found in their research. And they mean two kinds of connectedness: close connections to other people, that would be your family mostly, and deep connections to moral and spiritual meaning. Now, the day when I heard this, I realized this is shocking. It's such a simple answer, but to think about the close connections in your life and your moral and spiritual connections, that can answer so many questions, and it's really something simple. So today I'm going to focus on goals and what we can do in our family. So we start off with a healthy brain connection. So if you want to strengthen your family, or you want to start a family culture where the family spends time together and you focus not only on the chores and the physical needs and the things that needs to happen on a daily basis, but you also connect with your child or with your spouse on an emotional level, we have to start with ourselves. So, and as I said in the beginning, it's for me, it's very important to, when I start something new, I don't want another extra chore or to spend some more time on more things that need to be done. I have to set aside another 15 minutes for this. There is no 15 minutes in my day left. So I do not want to add on to my schedule. I just want to improve my schedule as it is. And therefore, we start with healthy brain connection. So we have to start by ourselves and stop our automatic negative talk. And it's important, and just for me mentioning it today is already something that gives you mindfulness and that makes you aware that sometimes we do that. Sometimes we are negative, and sometimes we feel like, I don't have 15 minutes extra in my day. Why would I now embark on a family strengthening program, and it also adds on to all the other chores that I need to do? But we can use mindfulness to believe in our ability to create a strong and loving family. And just starting there, I think, is where we, for me, it's where I start. And I tell myself, I'm not going to make it difficult. I'm not going to do 10 things in one day. Maybe if I can just do this one thing, then I have already made a difference in my child's life. Then, this is quite a topic for discussion. Another family goal that you can start, I don't know if this is a good time of year to start this, but on the other hand, we are all tired. We don't get time. We don't get time to talk to each other. We don't see each other at home because everybody has a different schedule. And where else are we going to get to look each other in the eye and say, how was your day? How are you doing? How are you progressing with your work, or whatever is part of your life? And family dinners is actually the best way to do this. I did a family bonding camp during October in a squatter camp in here in Potchefstroom during the October holidays. And I was like, when I planned it and when I was preparing for it, I was actually a little bit afraid and a little bit cautious of how am I going to approach this, because now I'm working with children and families in a squatter camp, and I want to teach them to sit by a table and eat their dinner with a knife and a fork around a table. And you know what? It actually worked out so well. It was amazing. And just this morning, we had a meeting, and one of the participants wrote a long testimony of how this changed his life. And he said, for the first time in my life, I sat around a dinner table and ate with my family. And then he goes on to say how it helped him and how they connected as a family. So yeah, it's maybe for us, it seems like, oh, it's silly, and now I'm tired and I just want to fall down on the couch and sit in front of the television. And if the food is ready, everybody can just help themselves. I know, and I do the same mistakes. But then again, when I look at testimonies like that, I realize we have to get up, we have to sit at the table, and we have to look each other in the eye. And we have to eat anyway. But the question is, does the television need to be on when we eat? So one of the goals that I am pursuing myself, because we have been doing it as a family, and lately we haven't been doing it. So we do eat by the table during the mornings at breakfast, but then there's not enough time to really connect with each other because everybody is running and everybody has to be somewhere, someplace. And so dinners, I think, and even if you do not do dinners, try to do it at least once a week. Maybe a Sunday afternoon. Start small. Don't make it difficult for yourself. And as I said, link it with your current schedule. If you know during the week nobody's home and you are going to sit alone at the dinner table, maybe schedule on a Saturday or a Sunday, or let's get the whole family together and ask them, can't we do something on Friday night and just eat together as a family around the table? And yes, when I was preparing for this, I found this little piece that Larry McCurdy wrote. And he said, for the past several centuries, the bonding power of the family dinner table has been one of the few constants. And now it's binding no more. The potency of the media is now stronger than that of family. The wonder is that families still exist at all, since the forces of modern life mainly all pull people away from a family life. And that was so true to me when I saw this. I realized that is our biggest threat and our biggest problem. And we can make the choices to say, but I'm not going to let society keep me away from experiencing that with my family. Oops, now my slides do not want to go on. Sorry, you guys. I think my computer has a few hiccups with this keyboard. My slides don't want to go on. Let me try again. Sorry for that. There we go. So the My Time is another goal that we as a family can start doing during the next 2 or 3 months. Yeah, so one of the emotional needs of a child is to be able to play with his or her mom and dad. And I didn't realize how important this is until recently when I did some training on social emotional assessments of children. And this is actually one of the crucial needs for children, is to spend time playing, not only chores and going to the shops and getting homework done, but playing on the child's terms. So once again, as I said, it's difficult if you have to set aside an extra 10 to 15 minutes. And now you've got 3 or 4 children, then you have to set aside a whole hour to reach every one of them. So make it easy for yourself. If you've got 4 children, you get 1 child each day. So on let's say Monday the oldest, Tuesday the second one, Wednesday the third one, and Thursday is the fourth one. This is just to make it more reachable and not to add on to your hectic schedule. And then again, there's a few rules. If you've got, this is especially for primary school kids, let the child choose the activity. And here I want to say, preferably, it should be an activity that is not technology bound. So no Xbox games or computer games or watching a movie together. You can also do that, which is fine. But for this specific time, it needs to be relational. And then you give your child your undivided attention for that 10 to 15 minutes. And this is not a time to criticize or to tell the child what he's doing wrong. Make positive comments. And if it's a skill-based game, you can just even out the playing field a little bit and give yourself some handicap points so that the child can also sometimes win, just to make it more fun and also for them, and especially for children who has a very strong competitive side. It's hard for them and they don't like losing. So yeah, that is my time. And then I call it snuggle time. My kids are now in high school, so I don't play that much anymore with them. But snuggle time is still a special time when we sit next to each other. If you've got a couch or if you've got a one of these benches that can swing. We've got one next to our swimming pool, and it's very nice during the summer when my food is in the oven and I'm preparing dinner. I go and sit outside on the bench, and then I would say, who wants snuggle time? And then anyone can join me and they can sit there and we discuss important things, and yeah, mostly it's about emotional things that we discuss, and that's also a special time where the other kids are not present, and that child can feel that I'm really paying attention and giving my undivided attention to that child. Yeah, my PowerPoint does not want to work with me. Sorry, you guys, I don't understand I think it's my computer that's the problem. Not working. Wacht bietjie, maybe stop sharing. There we go. So to combine a little bit of family fun with these goals are now 3 things. The one is the spending time with your child every day, a fun time, nah? The other one is having family dinners, and then what was the other one now? Also, oh, the positive self-talk, yes, which starts with us. So when we, especially for the younger kids, the primary school kids, they would love to decorate a conversation jar. So what we did is we made a conversation jar and we decorated it with whatever ribbon, string, paint, family photos, whatever their hearts desire. And then we put in a few topics on what to discuss during dinner time. So a few suggestions that you can include, this is only 1 or 2 that you can include into your conversation jar. It has questions. If you could have anything for dinner, what would you have? And then make turns around the dinner table to give every child a chance to share. And yes, and mom and dad can also share. What is your favorite place in the world and why? If you could be on any television show, what would it be? What is the best present you've ever received? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live and why? If you had 3 wishes, what would they be? What would you do if you were president? If you won $1 million, what would you do with it? If you could have any job, what job would it be and why do you think you would like it? If you could invite 3 famous people to dinner, who would they be and why? So yes, this is only to spark your interest and to let your creativity go. It can actually be so much fun, and there's so many topics that you can include, and you can imagine if you've got little ones, how interesting this could turn out to be. So if we can recap, let's start with positive self-talk. And with that, I am the one who is usually the one in the house that says, we don't have time for this. Can we just concentrate on what needs to happen now? So for myself, the positive self-talk is my number 1 goal. I'm going to make it happen and I'm going to make it easy for us to do this. And let's stop the automatic negative talk. Then number 2, let's start family dinners, even if you do it once a week. Or if you do it, it's not a dinner necessarily. Maybe you want to make it a breakfast. But yeah, for us, we do breakfast, but once again, we need some time to talk to each other. And then my time, 10 to 15 minutes per day. Yeah, and don't make it difficult. If you've got 4 kids, give them a day of the week, and that's your day, and that's when you have my time. And then the family fun part for the dinner, the kids can also participate, and they can also join in and say what topics do they want to discuss. Even if it's silly topics, it makes it so much more fun. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. I am going to proceed with this. Let's call it a series. I am going to proceed and I'm going to make follow-up presentations, especially for this wellness talks. And yes, I will present them from time to time. So be on the lookout next year when we send out the schedule. And yes, you are more than welcome to ask questions if you have any.
Thank you, Susan. That was such an insightful presentation. And I'm sure that the rest of the listeners will also agree with me that they will also not be able to wait to implement and to use your tips. I don't know if there's anybody who would still like to ask a few questions. I think we'll hang around for a few minutes. Thanks again, Susan.
It's my pleasure. I just want to add on to what Estelle said in the chat. Annelie said, I like to have a chat during dinner to say what was good and bad about your day. It's a quick way to check in with everyone. Yes, that is so true, Annelie. How in the world are we going to get by each other if we don't talk about this? And yes, it's always nice to hear from the others what's happening in their lives. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no more questions, I am going to close off, and I thank you for participating. And yes, I would love to hear if there's anybody who's implementing any of these tips and techniques. Maybe next year when we do another talk, you can share a little bit about how you spend time as a family and how it has improved your well-being just to spend some time together. Thank you, Estelle.
There we go. I struggled to unmute. Thanks so much. And if you do have questions afterwards, you know where to reach us. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Sorry, Estelle, there's a question.
Oh, I see. Somebody's raised.
You are welcome to ask your question.
I unmuted.
Yeah, she's not awesome. There you go.
I'll just open my video. Just say, yes, I'm Christina. I'm at CUT. I was saying I'm really impressed, and thanks again for the topic, because it's really something that normally slips our minds, and that you find sometimes when your child asks, can we play outside, or can I do something, Mama? Then you'll start saying, no, leave it. So most of the time they're on their books or on social media. So this is very helpful, and thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for listening. And yes, we are definitely going to make more of these chats, because I'm a mother and I know it has to be easy to implement and also not expensive now. So yeah, that's important for me. Thank you so much for your comments. Are there any other questions? Okay, I think if we are done, then we can close off, Estelle.
Yes. So thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next time. I think the next session will probably be the last one for the year. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone.